Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. So one thing we have been consistent is being inconsistent. Sorry for missing out on the review for the previous game and the preview for the City game. But good news is we are back with the with talking about the loss against Manchester City. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but we are here. With me today,
It shouldn't matter, Vijay. Our job is to talk. So,
so there he introduces himself as usual. We have Arun with us. Hi, Arun.
hello.
So before we start, as always, Bob used to remind me, we have to say, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment in. Also, like we have been trying to, increase our subscription, increase our content and everything. Although I started with saying that we are inconsistent, we are not that inconsistent. So with that out of the way, Arun, like let's start the discussion. I mean, it's a difficult one to talk about, not because of how the game or where we are on the table, or we lost the first place, nothing like that. We have always maintained that we are never a title challenger. We are very good for top four. But still it did kind of feel like it has come crashing down. Do you feel that way about the game?
I think if we had not had bad results against the likes of Everton or Brentford before playing City, I don't think this loss would be hurting people as much. Had that Brentford game been won, those are the games where you need, in spite of playing not at your best, you need to win those games, get those points, and that would be the confidence booster. The fact that this City,
you didn't hear that we have won that game because it was a referee mistake that we
retroactively they will avoid us the 3 points and then we'll win the title at the end of the season. But we can only talk about what we have right in front of us right now and whatever happened. But that's where I feel like, in a sense, that had those not happened, then the City loss wouldn't have hit us that badly. Not only because even if it was a 3-1 loss, I don't think people would be complaining as much as they are right now. It's the cumulative loss of points that we've had over the 3 games that is sort of making people, panic, I would say. But I do not really know if there is a need to panic. Like, first of all, I hate this narrative that this is going to be our best or only chance to win the league in the season. We are where we are because of what we have done, not because of others dropping off. We have scored 50 points in 50 games and 50 points in 20 games. That's not like an inconsistent team or a by chance team does not get to 20 in the toughest league in the world. They do not do that. So for me, this is just the beginning, and we're going to have more chances to win in the coming seasons, whether we win this season or not. And having said that, we were in a really good position to continue on, capitalize on what we had. But then, post that Spurs game, I think I told you, post that United game, it seemed like the team it felt that the celebrations or whatever it could be, it felt that they reached a high. And that seemed to be yes, we've done something amazing. It seemed like we have a half of a season left. That factor seemed to have gone from whatever we were trying to do. And that's being reflected in each game. Yesterday's game, City's game, we went toe to toe with them, not by playing a low block, not by being out of the game or trying to hit them on the counter, but playing the same way that we did for a good 60 minutes. Now, in the 30 minutes that we have, we are actually comparing a team. I'm not giving any excuses. We lost the game. We were outplayed by them. But the way in which we were outplayed showed basically the differences between a team that has won and has been consistently winning and a team that is trying to get there, is at the top of the table due to good performances this season. The maturity, lack of maturity, like I said, for me, it was always going to happen. We were a team, we thought we were going to finish top 4 at the beginning of the season. We find ourselves in like a title race, but this inconsistency is bound to happen for a team like this, the same way we lost the games that we did last season.
I understand that, but in this game's perspective, right? leave aside the results of previous games and stuff. Just this game's reaction, right? Like because when we are talking about just this game,
I think it's because I haven't been on the podcast for a while. I'm just compensating for all of that.
no, but still, like about just this game, right? Like I mean, what I'm gonna ask you is like Manchester City has won at Emirates whenever they come in, like last 8 seasons or something like that. Since Pep Guardiola took over, or even before that, they have always come in and won at Emirates, right? So it's not about the loss that we are worried about. It's about like this team. For all of us, we feel that they are special. They are special than the previous 8 seasons that we have. So a team that we all as fans think that they are special is losing against City, who this season has not been anything special. Even though they have added Haaland to their mix, they've not been the City of last year or the City that put Liverpool in their place. Though that City is not here. This is a different City. So even in this moment, when we are losing a game in such a manner, does this make you question whether, like, as fans, did we just go overboard with our thoughts about this team?
Fans go overboard. Yes, 100%. Yes, you give.
I shouldn't have asked it that way, but you know what I mean.
That's the job of a fan, right? You sort of like. I don't blame the fans either, because they had evidence on the pitch that was showing throughout all the games. There was like I said, continuous patterns of play that we were executing beautifully until we came to these last 2-3 games. The game against City, of course, if you want to win the league, you want to beat the best in the league. You know, that's the completion. That's like sort of gives you the satisfaction of having won the league by beating the best team in the league. The season that Leicester won, we were the second best team and they beat us. We beat them, but then it didn't matter at all. They won the league, right? So for me, like, yeah, ideally you would want your team to like be the best and beat them and go on to win the league. But at the end of the season, it's just a number of points. I don't think any of our fans are going to complain if we like get even 1 point more than City and win the league in spite of losing to them twice. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's like,
I wouldn't complain even if City was charged by the footballing committee and they took points and that's how we win it. I don't care as long as we win it. I mean,
that's the thing.
I would feel a little bit different, but yeah, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, but like I don't think the fans are like, fans expected a good amount, which was like because of what the team showed on the pitch. But when we are going through these runs, we sometimes like tend to forget that these guys are punching above their weights. Definitely for what we have, the squad that we have, the age profile of the players, for people who are playing their first season in England, or like for people who have not had a lot of experience. We again comparing a team of City, even though they have not gone on any of their famous runs, they've not been as threatening. Like you said, generally by this time, City would be like running away with the title, right? Yeah. But they have people in their team who have done this before, and unfortunately we don't. And like out of the two that we have, only one is present, the other one is not there. So these are not like excuses. These are just plain factors. Like, Eric Ten Hag, for all that he's doing this season, he's doing an amazing job. He'll get this United team far. But then again, if it comes to a title race, even they don't have anyone apart from Casemiro who knows how to win a title. So that is where these teams would falter. Liverpool faltered off. They had okay, yeah, that was like a once upon a time thing. Yeah. No, but that's where I feel the experience and the maturity, the choke that they had on us in the last 30 minutes is stuff of champions. Like normal teams don't do that. Like they knew what to do. They knew, like, in my head, I was thinking Mahrez was going to be the biggest threat. And when he was neutralized for 60 minutes, I was very happy. But then little did I realize but him leaving the pitch is when we are going to be in more trouble. And that's where the manager, the people that he has, and the experience that these people have makes a lot of difference. Yesterday, it was not one person messing things up. For me, yesterday, it was like our defense collapsed completely. And there was a lot of pockets, a lot of people who have been our stand-up performers throughout the season failed to perform again. Like when 7 out of 11 people have shit games in a shit game during shit performance in a game, then you'd be like super lucky, or you'll be like friends of the ref. You come out of the game with a win, and that's what happened. In my opinion, that's what happened. Like they beat us where they knew we would choke, and we just choked.
But okay, let's go.
This doesn't bring down the level of performance or like what we are expecting from the team or what they've done. This doesn't discount anything. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, so let's go ahead with with this question, right? As in, it doesn't bring down our performance, it doesn't do anything, but we have moved to a place in the table that we have not been for quite some
Yes.
time,
Yes.
right? And as a fan, I have not been like, okay, let me go through my phase of how I was as a fan, right? Like,
Yes.
last couple of seasons, like even before Arteta came about, I was never looking up at the table. Like I was never looking up at like, oh, top four is this, who is winning the league. I was never looking at how many points City did, how many points like Liverpool win. That was not happening for a lot of seasons. But
Right.
last season was the first time when I was looking up at the table, right? And this season, I was not looking up at the table because we were at the top of the table. So I'm just looking at City. I'm not even looking anything beyond that. That's how, as a fan, I was. But now that we have had this slump, like 3 games is a slump. Yes, it is. Have this slump. Now should I be starting to look at United? Should I be starting to look at who's below that? Should I be also looking at the chasing pack, not just at City, to try and catch them up?
Interesting point that you bring up. Definitely, I would say at this point, like if I know we've been like making fun of United and their fans for calling themselves to be in a United title challenge, but with everything that we are doing and everything that they are doing, they are in the mix as well. Like it's not like clear unless like us or City drop points in double digits, they are not going to be like winning or anything, but they are definitely there. Now the fear is that we would fall off so bad that we would be finishing third or fourth or something like that, or like fourth worst case, in which case even Newcastle would be above us, or like worst case Tottenham or someone like that would be above us. God forbid that doesn't happen, but we have put ourselves in a situation where we need to keep an eye on United as well. Like whatever points that we gain or lose is going to be like, again, we are level on points of City right now with a game in hand.
Yes.
With a game in hand. So it's not like all doom and gloom just yet. But you're right. When you are in a slump, it's easy to spiral out negatively. And this is where, like, it's easy to start thinking about how a team behind us could probably pip us, even though we are in a very comfortable situation. Probably as fans, we think that so because of the PTSD of all the former seasons that we have had. But the team in itself have to start thinking more about everyone in the pack. That's for sure. I agree with you on that. I think it's time. We've brought this upon ourselves, but it was always bound to be. I didn't think United would perform as well as they are doing right now. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have either. So whatever they're doing is pretty good. But again, they do have a lot of tough games coming up. We don't have to worry about City until April. We have a bunch of winnable games. And if we're able to do that, I don't though we would have to worry about United, I don't think they'll be pipping us though.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be positive here, Vijay.
That's all we can do. But
Yeah.
but just to put a dabber on you, let's analyze the game a little bit before we go, right? Like, I mean, you have been talking about the defense collapsing. It was a strange decision for a lot of people. Not for me. It made sense when Arteta brought Tomiyasu into the mix. Yeah, Ben White has been having kind of a slump in the form, which incidentally coincided with Arsenal having a slump in the form.
Yeah.
So bringing in Tomiyasu was not a big deal, and also like the last couple of games, we've been troubled by set pieces, by long balls and stuff. So bringing in Tomiyasu, who we know is a strong presence aerially.
Plus, Saliba has not been like he's losing all the aerial balls. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah,
that made sense to me. But talking about all that, and then the first goal happens, which was, for me, both Tomiyasu and Ramsdale to blame. Ramsdale could have come in and cleared that ball, is what I think. And Tomiyasu could have cleared the ball instead of playing it back to Ramsdale.
Saliba lost the header. Why are we not talking about that?
Yeah, but that is a 50-50, right?
See, that's because we like Saliba, right?
I like Tomiyasu too. That's why I'm trying to defend him. Like, there has been what I meant is, like, it was a defensive collapse, but there was a lot of moments where this was just a very small margin of error. Like, I texted the group chat that Gabriel was handling Haaland so well in the first half. After, like, he runs behind Haaland, puts in a tackle inside the box, take the ball away from him, and Haaland just stands there with nothing in. So I was saying, yeah, he was handling him so well. And then we also saw how Mahrez was neutralized. So there were moments where the defense was so good, and then there were instances where just like a small things kind of put it into a different way.
That's what the league has become, right? Like when you're having like teams that go on to win 99 points, 100 points in the league, the margins of error come down like to all these minor things. It's like very microscopic at this point. And that is what the league has become, unfortunately. You make one small mistake, be it at home or away, the quality of the opposition that has been winning the league continuously for these so many years is such that they're definitely going to punish you. This one loss at home doesn't take anything away, but like you're right, in terms of like we did a lot of good things. We did a lot of good things in the first half. The way in which we kept things quiet, with the way in which we went toe to toe with them, everything was perfect. Like, it was not like we were like deer in headlight situation. There never was a case. Like last season when we were like playing City at home, the third game, we beaten 5-0, like comprehensively beaten. That game was disgusting to watch. This game wasn't like that until like 60, 70 minutes. When 70 minutes, like I said, they just shifted gears and they knew exactly what they had to do. And probably it would have been like, they would have observed everything that they, like you said, Gabriel was very good with Haaland for long periods of time. But that was the observation that Pep made when he took Mahrez off. Their entire dynamic changed when they overloaded the midfield. And then it was all about choking. And they literally choked us to death in the last game. Let me ask you this. We've said we don't want to blame. There's no point in blaming players in this game. Like, that's what I feel. Because
no, I will blame players. I still have more players to blame.
You still have more players to blame? Okay, let's see that. But for me, it was like, who are you going to blame? Like Odegaard, the captain, did not have a great game. Xhaka, a consistent performer, did not have a great game. Saka, who should have taken a shot, he scored a penalty. Yes, he did not have a great game. Martinelli, I don't even think he played. That's how it was. Eddie had a pretty bad game. Everybody had a pretty bad game. So when it comes down to this, do you think like a person like Mudryk or a Caicedo lost transfers, right? Could have made a difference? Or is it just like we had Trossard on bench as well? Jorginho started ahead of Partey, and I don't think he did many things wrong. In fact, he was really good. So is it all again like coming down to, you think, the lack of personnel or the lack of maturity or just like a plan B? Because still we started getting hit. There should have been, Arteta could have made a lot of changes, right? I find like these are the things that were probably like led to us being where we are rather than like individual blame. Like, what do you think?
Only one answer for that. Eddie and Ketia.
No.
Eddie and Ketia.
See, this is again another thing. Three games ago, after the United game, when he scored the goal, there were talks about like Jesus not being a starter anymore.
Yes.
There were talks about apology letters to Eddie and Ketia, and we even signed them here. But then all of a sudden, after 3 games, isn't a forward not allowed to have a game like this?
A forward is allowed to have a game like this, but the problem is he has been having a lot of games like this, and especially when it's time for someone to step up, right? Someone to step up, and especially in a game, we saw that Saka was playing really well until there was a moment when I remember, Pep calling Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and who else did he call? There was three players who he called and told them to do something different. And then you saw Bernardo Silva and started doing what in the previous game, in Everton game, what they were doing to nullify Saka, where they were double teaming on Saka.
Yeah.
That's when Saka's influence started going down. And if that's happening, there has to be one person who we like. At the end of the day, a striker's job is to score goals.
True, I agree.
And he can have a bad game. But when he has a bad game, I have all the rights to blame him, because that's his job.
Think about it. He won the penalty. He won so many free kicks in the box. The things that he missed, he missed 2 headers for sure.
That's his bread and butter. That's what we want. We don't want him to win the penalty. Yes, I'm happy that he won the penalty, but I want him to win those headers. I want him to score those shots. Imagine if that free header goes in. That's it. We are ahead of the game. We are not chasing the game. We are ahead of the game. At least the second one goes in. We are tied. We are drawing the game at that point, right? So it all depends on what that thing is. And as usual, again, like you are talking about Martinelli not being present. In this game, check the stats. How many passes between Eddie Nketiah and Martinelli?
Yeah, but like, how can you blame Eddie Nketiah for that? That's what I'm asking. Like, it
Because
doesn't come down to the manager as well, and what Xhaka and Zinchenko were doing.
no, because the only thing that changed in that situation was Jesus being replaced by Eddie Nketiah. And when Jesus was playing, the same Xhaka, same Martinelli were scoring, were thriving very good. So the only thing that changed was Eddie Nketiah. Yes, the manager has to blame because he sets the plan, but that in no way takes the blame out of Eddie's. And I'm not saying, oh, chuck Eddie, sell him. No, I'm not saying that, but he needs to step up. This is not enough. This is not good enough.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Like, you're calling him out. You're telling him you want him to step up. Yeah, 100%. But like, putting the blame entirely on him or any other player for that matter is the narrative that I'm not ready to accept.
No, it's not like entirely on one player, but the blame has to be shared, and the players
it has to be shared with about 9 out of the 11 people.
Yeah, but some of the players have a higher say in this game. Like for example, Tomiyasu, although I love him, he had a higher say in the game. That first goal was because of him. Second goal was because of like that deflection. Although I don't blame him because that's his job to put his body in line. But still, it's a deflection from him that wrong puts Ramsdale. He was perfectly poised to stop that shot.
Do you think Trossard or someone Trossard should have started ahead of like Martinelli?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that would have changed anything because we saw Trossard play against City during that the cup game that we had, and he was good. He was the best player on the pitch, but he did not help the team do better. So I'm not seeing that Trossard being a starter changes anything. For me, the only thing that I am worried about is Partey.
Right.
Because the previous game he was. I mean, even the previous day he was in training. Even Arteta came out and said that Partey injury came out in the last moment, and this is not the first time this is happening. There has been a lot of moments where he's playing with injuries.
He's missed a lot of Big Six games.
Yeah, not just that. Like he's also hiding injuries. Excuse me.
Hiding injuries. Like something like Katie did last time. Yeah.
Hiding injuries, and not just now. Like he came back from Ghana one time and he was hiding injuries. So he has done this over and over again, and that is a big concern for me. That is a major concern. Top 6 game, we cannot keep giving out the excuse. We cannot keep doing what Arsene Wenger did, that, oh, Abu Dhabi would be great next season. So,
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, quite a few problems for the manager to address. But like, what do you think the response should be? Like now that we've spoken about City, like, you know, we've told about all that we need, all that we felt. Yeah. So the best way for me would be to respond with the win. Like, what do you think we can do different to get that W? Because it's like super important for me. I wasn't like expecting a win from this game against City, but I'm sort of like more confident about the team responding. Are you as confident as I am?
I am not yet as confident as you are, but I can see the path, right? Like if we win every game from now on, or if we at least match the results to what City is doing from now on, and win that one game in hand, we are going to be ending up as champions.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't see us doing that yet, at least in this form. I don't see us doing that yet, but I do want the team to give out a strong response.
Yeah,
I want us to win against Villa.
And it's going to be tough against Emery away from home. But I think that should be a winnable game. Would you think like there would be any changes in the lineup? I know Jorginho would start probably because like what they said is Partey might not be available for the weekend as well. But would you make any other changes like White coming back or like Katie coming back?
I would say White would come back based on that game, or I would say White shouldn't come back after that game because we need to give at least one more game for Tomiyasu to regain his confidence.
Should one of our centre backs be given like a rest and White takes their place?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Be too panicky.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Trossard might start the game ahead of Martinelli because this has been going on for quite some time. But I don't see any other change in the game happening. But okay, now that we are here, but we are not going to do a preview anyways. If we do, I don't know yet. But what is your thoughts on that game? Like, what is your thoughts, or how do we win it, and what's your predictions?
The thing with Villa is like I said, the best way to respond from this slump is with a win. Like we have to absolutely win this game against Villa. If we don't win against the game against Villa, then at that point, the fear of, like you said, looking behind at the pack would only start increasing. That fear would be more than the objective of catching up with the leader. So 100% we have to win this game. It's not going to be easy away. Emery, studies the opposition really well. And from these games, he must have definitely seen what our weaknesses are. So the only thing is they're not going to be probably parking the bus or playing the same way like a Brentford did or an Everton did, which means that we would get some chances. I would say pick your best 11 and go all out. Go all out. Like when you see Martinelli coming off the bench, that gives you more confidence. So use your subs wisely. Use your subs ahead of time. Don't wait until it shit hits the fan. Be more proactive. Use your first team and get off the blocks quickly. Score a couple of goals. That's what I want to do. That's the way to win. I don't think Villa are that threatening. Their main problem would be the manager. But I don't think as a team they're as threatening that they would derail us totally. So we have a great chance to win. I believe that we would win, but we need to get off the blocks. We cannot afford this 15 minutes of cutesy football and then another 15 minutes of trying to pass our way into the goal. And then no, none of that. Be direct. Do what works for you best. Reduce the number of opposition chances and double up and convert your chances. Convert your fucking chances, man.
Awesome. Prediction?
2-1 win for Arsenal. Yes.
Okay, awesome. There you have it, folks. Thanks Arun for joining in. I think
Pleasure.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bounce back.
Cheer up, buddy. Cheer up. It's still a marathon. It's not just one game. Cheer up.
I hope so. And thank you for joining.
We have the joy of watching the Arsenal play after a long time. Let's revel in it.
Yeah, definitely. With that good thought, thanks everyone for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment in your predictions for the Aston Villa game. And do you feel that we should blame players or not?